Hey, and welcome back finally for some more PEL Contenders Phase 3 action. I'm your host, Max, joined as always with Imperium here on my left. We're kicking off day 4 before a little bit of a break. And it's going to be with Group B as always. 4 insane matches coming your way. Erangel, double Miramar, and Sanhok as always. Going to be a lot of fun coming your way.
Yeah, of course, we did see some action-packed gameplay yesterday. Most notably that stood out for me, as I get my words out, was Airstation Mike, who won in Miramar. Can they repeat the process? And then we look
Group
over.
A.
Okay, that's slightly wrong standings. We'll look to hopefully get that fixed. There you go. Airstation Mike, they hold the top of the table with 103 points, but followed closely by Istanbul Wildcats on 92, who still got a higher ratio of placement points to kill points, and they've gotten a chicken dinner in every single day of Group B so far. Yeah,
they've been doing absolutely awesome. And one team that I'm really proud about is actually BetterLuckNxTime. This is the first time since day 1 that they actually got back in this top 8 because they've been consistently getting good performances, especially Artix on his team. He's been doing absolute strides for his team to push them back in that top 8 position. So huge performances yesterday for them.
Yeah, and Artix from the side of BetterLuckNxTime currently holds 3rd place on the kill board with 19 kills. And especially because they're PL. They were one of the open teams that made it through. So they've really put it up there. And even Red Foxes, I know they've dropped down in standings compared to day 1, but even when you look at the comparison, there's like 34 points dividing 1st place and 8th place. And then there's only 30 points dividing 9th and 16th. So realistically, there's nothing in the overall points. The placements will shift. It's just up to the teams to make sure that they can just get a certain level of consistency, average points per game on the board. And of course, if they can follow it up with that chicken dinner along the way, it's going to be an extra bonus.
Exactly. So we were talking about the top kill board overall. Perfectix from Northern Lights, 26 kills. From day 1, we knew he was going to be one of the big contestants for these kind of positions overall in this Phase 3. Then followed up very closely by Hugstar. There are 2 players actually battling for that number 1 position in terms of kills. And this time, Perfectix having 4 extra kills on top of him. I'm sure Hugstar's not going to let that one unspoken of today.
Of course. Hugstar is used to being the top fragger, at least individually on his team, and he'll want to reclaim that top spot. But then again, the main priority for these players at the end of the day is to work with their team to get those placement points. So it's great to see them on top of the kill feed individually, but the biggest priority for them is to make sure that the team are getting the kills and the results are coming through from a placement point of view.
Nail up from No Tag Team, 3,712. That is like 1/3, even a little bit more actually of 1/3 of the damage of his entire team as a one-man army there. Perfectix also going to be the same. These top players, Laza also from Istanbul Wildcats, he's been doing huge on their side.
He has. Well, the whole of Istanbul Wildcats team have worked very well together, but particularly Laza has absolutely stood out from his team as we do look at the head-to-head stats between Perfectix and Naileup. Perfectix from Northern Lights, Naileup from No Tag Team. And No Tag Team, like they do currently lie in 10th place, but really there's nothing stopping them from raising their game.
Yeah, 3 points away from top 8. That's what we're looking for. The damage is actually really close on both of these 2 players. But we can see that conversion rate coming out from Perfectix is so much. You have to take that in consideration. Come on. Perfectix, what an absolute legend from Northern Lights. And Northern Lights actually standing still in 3rd position. They've been pretty consistent around the top 5, these top 5 positions overall, and they've been just really high up overall. So congrats to them. I'm going to go over once again the rules. If you did unfortunately miss out the pass of the PEL Phase 3 action, here is what is going down. 1st position, it is 10 points, goes and trickles down to 8th position with 1 point, 0 points after 9th position, and once again, 1 kill is 1 point.
Pretty standard stuff when it comes to the points. But like just looking back at Perfectix and in particular Northern Lights, he's got 26 kills for himself. That is nearly half of their total kills, 62 in total. But we do look at the schedule, of course, for today, as usual, 13, 14, 15, 16th games coming your way. As Maxman did correctly point out, we've got 1 Erangel, 2 Miramar, and then finishing off the day with some beautiful Sanhok action.
This will be marking the 50% mark for the group stage of Group B. So now you're going to be slowly getting to the point where these first games that you had, they're going to be really, really pulling you down if you had a bunch of good performances, or pulling you up if you had awesome games, as the likes of course, Airstation Mikes, Istanbul Wildcats, or Northern Lights. But anyways, let's jump into game number 1 of today. It's going to be Erangel. Only 1 Erangel game today. It's going to be a really central plane trajectory, and right off the bat, Team Unique going to be going for their good old military base.
Most likely indeed. And just to kind of touch upon what you're saying about kind of, we're getting to the midpoint, and if you kind of start off a little bit badly, like Tempest, who are lying in 13th place, they're still feeling the effects from their first day performances where they only got 2 points in all the 4 games. But they've consistently raised their game. They've raised their average points per game. It's just like I said, they're still feeling the effects of it.
And actually, I did check out, compared to yesterday and today, after their 4 games of yesterday, they actually doubled their overall score, which is a really good point forward.
It is.
It is still 50% off, but when they come back on their next 4 days after this, then I'm 100% sure they come back. It's not that far off. Anyways, a few teams going to be going for their main drop-in locations. And actually, one big change that I'm seeing here is that for once, 4 Kings did not go for Primorsk. They're going for Hospital/George Pole. They needed to shift their gameplay. They're in last position right now, and I think that they are trying to shamble a little bit their usual play style, which I like.
Yeah, but again, even though they're a team that dropped down to last place, believe it or not, on their average points per game, they actually increased. Not by much, only by about a third, but 1/3 of a point per game, but it's still increasing the average, and they have a long way to go overall. They want to raise their performances, but they still increase those average points per game. It's not quite a kick in the face, but this phase 1 circle, it's heading down the southwest side. It can go anywhere, though. That's the thing. It's an interesting thing. It's not a super southwest circle. It's not like completely dominating in one area. That can go, and it's interpreted that it can go towards George Paul. It can go towards Primorsk. Hell, it could even be a bit of a bridge area down by the military island. Or it can even just shift up and end up near Pachinki Hill finish.
If you do want to check out the map stream, exclamation point mapping stream, we'll be redirecting you over to the PEL map stream, and you'll be able to see where all of your teams are located. And I want to say that because one team that actually has a really good opportunity to kind of dominate this game, even though it's just phase 1, you said there's a lot of shifts and potential plays that can happen, is PG18. They're in the dead center. They got easy points of rotations, not too many teams. Maybe no tag team is getting close by slowly but surely. But PG18, they are in 15th position overall. They had a bunch of really good performances, just overall, not chicken dinners, not getting the highlight or anything. But this time, PG18, if you want to start off to a good game, this is what you're looking for.
It's weird because it doesn't feel like they're 15th. I think of them, and I don't think that they're 15th. I know they haven't had the strongest performances, but I kind of think they're maybe 11th or 10th, but then I'm looking at 15th. But once again, like I mentioned, 30 points dividing 9th place and 16th place. That is absolutely nothing indeed. Now, Team Oops, I said yesterday at the start of yesterday that they were the team that were going to come out and get a chicken dinner today, and they pulled it off in the very last game in Sandhawk. Fantastic result by them, and even in that Miramar game, I believe they also got a strong performance as well on their side. So it was a really good day for them yesterday. Of course, coming into this day, they will want to increase that and build upon it.
ELGIGANTEN, so they're going to be going for the northern section of George Pole. They are pretty much in circle. They've got a really easy shift. If they do want to shift a little bit more central, they've got to make it through the likes of 4 Kings. 4 Kings, actually, I'm seeing they're staying really close together. That was what was pulling them down a little bit in their performances, which I really do enjoy to see that 4 Kings, they have been trying to slowly fix it. You saw it, especially yesterday. Their gameplay has been way better than what they did on the first 2 days, and I'm really liking their improvement path on their side.
Obviously, they just maybe tightened their rotations up a bit more, tightened up their synergy, their communication is just naturally improved. So, of course, see if that will result in possibly a chicken dinner down the line or even just some strong performances coming through. Red Foxes, as we'd seen at the end of day 1, they were in 3rd. They had a great average points per game, held the first 3 games of this phase 3. They had an average of 11 points per game, and that was without a chicken dinner. But they have slowly dropped down the table, lying in 9th place. As we do see Jazza on the side of MJ-Esports come up. Early game interaction with Istanbul Wildcats. Apocalypse down to about 45 health, but you have BSD there. You have Laza and, of course, Genzo, the other member of Istanbul Wildcats, kind of flanking around. And do you think MJ-Esports, they're going to back away from that? Leaving Ojala on his own, going to throw out a smoke grenade. I reckon he should safely get away from that. No, maybe not quite. Going to try and exit into the boogie. No, he skips the boogie indeed, realizing it's a much safer option just to run through, try and protect himself behind the trees and hope for the absolute best. now going to throw another smoke grenade in the direction of where Istanbul Wildcats are heading towards, just to make sure he can potentially try to heal himself up. I don't know if he's going to actually be able to survive that, because Istanbul Wildcats are kind of flanking around and just holding a lot kind of wider angles to try and pinch Ojala.
Yeah, I'm not too confident on seeing Ojala making it through. He's going to try and create a little bit of a smoke road. Has 2 smokes, going to pop them over the road to try and make it to a safer location. But MJ, they're really far back. They're going to try and close on through. Larza, once again, that prime positioning to try and get him out of position.
Yeah.
There it is. Ojala going to do the run for it, making it through the road. He did that smoke that I talked about. That's going to be great for him. Does make it through. Gets back to John New in the back.
Yeah, plus the rest of the MJ-Esports team were kind of in the back line. You see they were holding those compounds, those houses, they were holding the high ground, so they were able to pop a couple of shots off in the direction of Istanbul Wildcats. So as a team, fair play, MJ-Esports getting away, not losing themselves a member. But you know who did lose themselves? Player, that was the side of Team MOOPHEUS, who lost Reggie Birdo early on at the hands of No Tag Team. So they're straight away in the center of the circle as a 3-man team.
A lot of rotation coming on through. Going to see Brute Force in Yasnaya, Pollyanna. They're not going to be moving quite yet, but they're not going to get gatekeep like Rozhawk and School is not completely taken over.
Nah,
so easy entry points still, even though they're going to rotate late. Team Unique making it through. No gatekeep's going to be happening, but a lot of teams going to be pretty central. And talked about moves. They're surrounded by up to 4 teams right now, and they're rotated away early from Pachinki. So this might get a little bit tricky, especially because the likes of BetterLuckNxTime, Red Foxes, and Team Unique might close up around that team from the south.
Yeah, they should generally be safe, because even though it looks like they are quite close, it is a big phase 1 circle, so they're not as close as one would think. So they should be safe, especially because generally speaking, the teams around them, they found their compound. It's more the fact that what I fear for Team MOOPHEUS is the fact that they're a 3-man team. So even if they get one knocked down, they're automatically down 2-2 team, and then you could see that push coming out. But talking about a push, the Tab, he was in that bike, he gets away, he heard the vehicles coming out from ELGIGANTEN, so that compound is going to go over to the hands of ELGIGANTEN.
That's a very Joker's kind of play. They got multiple compounds. They see the one team comes up. They don't try anything. They just go back as a full team, which I do understand. I do like that respectful kind of gameplay. As the Red Foxes, KofE's going to be split away from his team. This team going to be marching on a little bit forward towards the center of the map. Going to be facing against the full forces of Team MOOPHEUS. Well, the remaining forces of Team MOOPHEUS, down to now 3 members, Cobra, Hawkeye, and Kajoran. Kajoran was 18 kills on the first 3 days. One of the top fraggers overall. And you don't want to face him, especially in a 1v3, so maybe if KofE's can make it out. But it seemed like, Metabit, the full forces of Red Foxes, they're coming to help out their friend. I do love that. And they get that small sack. They're on the side. Another team's going to take a few shots. That's going to be No Tag Team. Nail Up going to try and get them out of position. But it's so far away, it will be complicated to really connect those shots. So that's going to just give a little bit more breathing room for Red Foxes.
BetterLuckNxTime pulling in a great performance so far in this phase 3, holding to 8th place. Their position is very strong indeed. Istanbul Wildcats going up against huge potential, but there is, I believe, a Tempest in the background looking to fire a couple of shots in their direction as well, as we're seeing Istanbul Wildcats take down the whole squad of huge potential. That's a great start coming out from Istanbul Wildcats.
Yeah, if you saw on your minimap, they went a little bit one by one. They got taken down, and that was Istanbul Wildcats getting 4 easy points for themselves in the start of this game. And especially, you had another team that could have been a really big impact. Was ELGIGANTEN.
No, it was ELGIGANTEN. Yeah, my humble apologies.
They could have helped out quite a lot there. That's unfortunate. They're going to go out in 16th position. But Istanbul Wildcats, they are in 2nd position with 92 points, and they're going to try and go for that number 1 spot right now, as we have a really central shift. No big rotation should be happening. I talked about MOOPHEUS maybe being a little bit of a struggle, but they don't need to rotate, so they're really safe right now.
Yeah, and then when you look at this phase, obviously you see Seth from Jokers has kind of that mountain outside of George Paul. It's a solid space to hold on to for now in the first couple of phases, but as it gets later on, if the circle is around that area and you have to go downhill from it, it's not a good place to be at. But having that one man as a bit of a scout, as a bit of a vision for his side, it's pretty popular indeed. When you look at where No Tag Team are right now, they hold a nice high angle. Compound is very effective. It's going to give them still easy access to get into the next couple of phases, but they're looking to fire a couple of shots off. All the while, Laza and MOORPHEUS coming together to take out the top fragger so far of this Group B. That was Perfectus taken out.
Perfectus taken out, and once again, another Joker's very similar kind of gameplay set. Sees that there's brute force coming up from the north of George Paul, and he's just going to go back, and they're going to go straight for Gatka, which I think that here might be a good location to work with. So they're going to try and keep that one under their control. But Brute Forces, I said it earlier, their rotation was a little bit late, which is completely fine. That's a respectful kind of gameplay. And as we said, they got a very easy entry point, and there's no teams around them. So great rotation from Brute Force overall. As we go over to the number 1 team of this Group B, Airstation Mike's pulling off the 2-2 split.
Oh boy, I love it. I love Airstation Mike. I'm a huge fan of them. They're kind of quickly becoming one of my top teams here in Phase 3 of Contenders. But I also love every single other team. It's 4 Kings currently lying in 16th place, looking for a set from Jokers, but not quite connecting with those shots. But will Jokers be able to get away from that? Will he be able to survive? It's a 1v2 situation for himself. Actually, no, my apologies. It's not a 1v2 situation.
It is a 1v2.
It is a 1v2 situation. There is a rest of Joker side close by to him, so that could put the side of 4 Kings, put Blast on, and Manny in a bit of a risky situation. Yeah. You can see Seth is going to look to join the rest of his team, make it a 2v2. He heard that bike. So that was a great frag coming out from Blast on. Very calculated. He knew that bike was coming in from the direction. Great sound, attentive play coming out. As another grenade comes out, but is it going to take down Blast on while Seth himself does get knocked down? As the grenades come out, GRISHKAPOWER from 4 King comes in to secure that frag, but now Tab down to 30 health.
Yeah, you had a few members coming out, 4 Kings, that did try to assist, so that's going to be great for them. They did slow down the engagement of Jokers, the Tab. The Boom's still going to be around the corner. Moon, unfortunately, from Joker, still really far. I don't know if he has a way to get back to the compound, but you talked about Grishka confirming a kill earlier. He's actually in the distance there, applying really good long-range distance. I'm looking if he can res back up Blast on. That'll be huge, though. A few shots will be applied from the side. That's actually PG-18 taking a few shots. There it is, Mani going to try and get the Tab. Almost gets him. The Tab, unfortunately, going to be surviving with just a few HP remaining. Going to try and force on through. Just 1 or 2 HP up there. 1 bullet will be doing the job. Grishka, if you can find an angle, that'll be huge on the Tab. A little bit of spray action coming out with that M4 from Mani. Can't quite find him.
Like he tries to find so many good angles, just even through just a millimeter of a play, as Higgy gets a fantastic frag grenade to knock down the Boom. This should be the push. This should be the port of call for 4 Kings to close on through. But the Tab, he's wise, he's clever. He gets on that bike, and no, he actually managed to get knocked down. Manny with a fantastic M4 red dot sight shot on to take down Tab.
Yeah, and that's going to be confirmed by Grishka in the distance. He's going to try and flush that one away. There you go. 3 points for the forces of 4 Kings. They were in last position. This is the kind of performances they need to kick off the day with to get that confidence up and rolling. Though Moon is not the end of Joker. Still got that 1 member. You are in a pretty good snaking zone especially. So maybe if you can just try and stay in those high positions, that could work out for him. And Moon is just going to try and stay put for the time being.
And while we were going through that bit of engagement, we did see the Phase 3 circle shift come on through. It went down south outside of the hill of George Paul. It's a bit closer to outside of Gaka. There's Pachinki in the fields of Pachinki still included. And then you have a couple of high grounds on the southwesterly side where about 5 or 6 teams are kind of converging. Unique, the Moops, Red Foxes, no tag team just outside the circle. This is the high ground that the teams are kind of looking for. It's nice high protection. You have trees, you have cover around them that they can still pop the shots off while protect themselves as a squad.
The reason why you especially want to try and aim for these mountains and these hills is because you have so much field still remaining in the area, and a lot of compounds can easily get information from those points of view. There it is, though. Brute Forces with that northern rotation will be clashing with Northern Lights. Northern Lights, though, they're going to try and be the gatekeepers, but not going to be working out too good, as they do let Brute Forces a little bit more centrally across. Almost across the road, but seems like they're going to be stopping beforehand. Oh my god, Spyro taking a few shots there, down to 23 HP. Spyro did get knocked away. Okay, bro, and Deep remaining on Northern Lights. And now the Brute Forces got that information for their kill feed. They can actually try and shot on through, and they're going to be reversing the steam of this fight, as Hawk going to look for the engage. On the side, you can see, okay, bro, he didn't see his feet, unfortunately, but he's right in front of him to get the information, though. Smoke forced out from Deep to try and get Spyro back up. Here it is. He was right on the bottom side there, and he doesn't have time to clap right back. That might be a flush coming up through. AmerouuS, can he give the assistance? I'm not too sure. A few shots in the distance once again from Deep, trying to secure that one, but Smoke will be coming on through. We did lose okay, bro, in the process. Deep still. He's going to try and get Spyro to get back up. He is creating a smoke road for him to get back to the compound, but I'm not sure if that's going to be actually enough. And Deep on the edge of the circle. He's going to have a little bit of a hard time, and this should be Brute Forces trying to pull the offensive to shut down that team.
Yeah, and they are. They do have that man advantage right now. You see them driving on forward all the while. Better look next time. Looking for Tempest as they're trying to flank around to the southeast side of this circle as a 4-man, 4-vehicle army driving on through. Hani, my apologies, did actually get knocked down with that vehicle blown up on his side, so that's going to be a kill going over the hands of BetterLuckNxTime. All the while, Give does knock down Manny from 4 Kings.
4 Kings still, again, a little bit gatekept by the likes of PG-18 was that rotation, but Hjort from Temper still in the blue zone. I'm pretty sure that Fate has the information. He saw 3 vehicles get in the blue zone. He saw only 2 come out. So he knows that someone is still going to be remaining. And another shift pretty central, going towards the likes of Pachinki Hill and in the open area between Gatka. So that should be a good rotation, especially for the likes of Airstation Mikes. They saw that shift. They're like, okay, let's all put ourselves in one compound, which is going to be huge for them. And MJ-Esports, a really good location also. Yeah,
but then you also have the kind of mountainside above or just outside Pachinki Hill, which could be very quickly occupied. Likes of MJ-Esports going up against ToWzErA. It's a 3v1 situation. Hulky is actually knocked down. We actually see ToWzErA get eliminated at the hands of PG-18 in the distance, and Mini all the while is actually able to survive.
I'm sorry, I saw Moose just run over Kidra on his sword.
Wow.
Oh my god. Well, mine must be feeling really happy right there. Nicely done from them. Moose out in 15th.
That happened just like so quickly. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Oh, the Northern Lights, he got res back up deep. Yeah, he was able to get Spyro back up on the board. That was huge. Spyro did split on the side just to avoid that engagement from Brute Force. You can see they're trying to be the gatekeepers of this next phase to try and reverse it against Northern Lights. But deep though, the blue zone, once again, it is phase 4. It will start to tickle just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And 2 angles actually created, but Brute Force is still 4 members. This will get tricky, but it seems like Brute Forces are going to split back just a little bit.
They're going for a bit of a 2-2 split, as we do see Unique going up against Red Fox. They've had a bit of a trade-off in the knockdowns coming out so far. Des out, trying to flank around, going a little bit more northerly to try and get those shots off, being popping out, but there is no tag team, possibly gonna look to 3 party, and that's it. Gonna be giving out shots to the hands of Dezout on the side of Unique. It's gonna be knockdown coming out. Will the frag come out? Will it be secured? Great shots coming out from PVVM to knock down Metabay, putting Red Foxes in a bit of a pinch situation. I think that knockdown did come out once again. Jevlez is knocked down, fragged out. Free knock does get a counter knockdown. There's going to be Team Unique eliminated just like that. They did have that initial advantage on the hands of Red Foxes, but even though Metabay was knocked down, Freenup and Kofest came in strong to secure that squad wide. But will the revive come out before no tag team try to clean up the pieces?
Yeah, no tag team. That 3-man party was huge on Team Unique. Metabay will be able to res back up. The Freenup going to be knocked away a little bit far. I'm pretty sure he's going to be taken out the picture as he doesn't have any smokes on top of him. Now Yannick going to be trying to chuck a few utility above him himself. They're going to try and get a little bit of a higher position in the north to try and get in circle. I think that's a little bit safer position to try and harass mainly the forces of Red Foxes.
Gatekeep.
Yeah, but still the smoke's going to be slowly ticking down, trying to maybe flush that kill on top of Freenup. That's going to be coming out there. You do coming out from Give It, but here it is though. Stumble Wildcats and ELGIGANTEN, they were very close to each other, and ELGIGANTEN's compound was not in circle anymore, so they had to try and take a decision. Marcelek going to try and go for the rotation on the left here, but he will have the nice high ground and take away that first member. Then Marcelek going to take a few shots from Apocalypse on that Scar L. Northern Lights got eliminated in the process in 13th position by the gatekeeper of Brute Forces. And now ELGIGANTEN going to be backtracking just a little bit to get a better position to try and res back up a little bit, as they did lose one of their members earlier. It's going to be turning into a 3v3 scenario.
Yeah, Red Foxes were indeed taken out at the hands of no tag team. It's kind of what we expected, gatekeeped at the hands of the edge of the circle. They did take down Team Unique before getting taken out indeed by no tag team. But this is a bit of a standoff. You have MJ-Esports in the background. Now they're inside the circle, so whoever wins between Istanbul Wildcats and ELGIGANTEN still have a strong journey, a long road ahead to try and get into the circle.
They're going to have to try and deal with the gatekeeper potential of MJ and also 4 Kings. Here it is, a little bit more spray action by Apocalypse. They're on his right there. Does have still a few. The circle
nice
up in just a few. Yeah, a few nice shots coming out. Doesn't quite get a knock, unfortunately. The ELGIGANTEN, they're still going to try and find a nice entry point. And also because you've got so many fields around, there's no way for them to get away from this one. Their cards are exploded. They're going to try and make a smoke road just a little bit, but they make a decision here. They're going to go 3 members in 1 car. We all know how risky that can be. And they're going to take all of their chances in their hands to try and go and avoid the fight with Istanbul Wildcats. And here it is, a few shots coming out. Lazar does get 1 headshot on one of the members of ELGIGANTEN. A little bit more damage coming on through. And that was a risky play, but it does work out for ELGIGANTEN, at least for now.
For now, credit where credit is due. They're now going to be able to heal up in that little hut, that little wooden kind of open shack for themselves, heal themselves up, get into the circle. All the while, Istanbul Wildcats have kind of said, okay, you've done that, we have to do it again. But like I said, MJ-Esports, they're picking up the pieces. They've gotten 1 knockdown, they've gotten 1 frag, and now it's going to be Moon, the final member. Joker's going to try and get Genzo. Yes, he does indeed. And that's going to be Istanbul Wildcats being eliminated in 11th place. We're down to 10 teams, 27 players left alive in the 21-minute mark of this game. 4 Kings. GRISHKAPOWER is knocked down. Higgy trying to revive himself up while ELGIGANTEN look to close themselves in. Going to try and get the knockdown, trying to get that final blow to Higgy and eliminate 4 Kings. Yes, indeed, they get taken out. Nice 2v1 push coming out from ELGIGANTEN. Well, actually 3-on-1 push, and they do eliminate 4 Kings.
That was just the smartest decision from ELGIGANTEN.
Yeah, of course.
Just let in the hardest job getting applied on the side of Istanbul Wildcats. They forced against Jokers and also MJ-Esports. They got taken out of the picture pretty fast in that rotation. Though MJ-Esports, once again, they have this shack under their control. Airstation Mike earlier is actually going to be a little bit breached over by by No Tag Team
and even PG18 as well, so they're going to have to hold all angles. fEJK was actually knocked down, so we do see ToWzErA is going to try to get that revive off. Looking at this circle closing in, we're going to see the next phase. Is it going to be a north shift? Is it going to be a south shift? Of course, we'll find out in the next couple of seconds who will it favour in this game. Who's been praying the hardest to the PUBG gods? It's actually quite central. No super big shifts. Airstation, most teams other than Brute Force, BetterLuckNxTime, every single other team is actually inside the circle.
They're pretty much in circle. Airstation Mike was only still 3 members, which is still really good at this stage, but still 4 members on the side of Brute Force going to be going 4v3 against the likes of BetterLuckNxTime. And actually, ELGIGANTEN going to try and find a few shots and does fine. Maken in the process. Can they flush it out? We'll have to wait and see. But now, BetterLuckNxTime, they might want to try and backtrack just a little bit, but they do have a high ground, which could be really good if they do decide to commit to this fight. It's just going to try and see which teams will be the first one to pull the trigger.
Even though you only have 2 teams that are kind of outside the circle, that circle is quite small. So when they look to head towards the edge of it, you have essentially potentially 3 to 4 teams around them that could be popping off shots. You know, when you look at Brute Force and when you look at BetterLuckNxTime, they have Tempest near them, they have MJ, they have ELGIGANTEN. All the while, Moon, the final member from Jokers, does get that fantastic shot, that knockdown onto Ojala. But what can you do with it? He's going to look to throw out his one final grenade in the direction of MJ-Esports. Can it be a Kobe play? Is it going to connect? Is it cooked strongly? It's not quite cooked, unfortunately. Now he's going to have to back off once again.
Yeah, unfortunately, Brute Force, they're going to be slowly tightening up this rotation on top of Joker's Moon. I mean, still looking to try and get an angle. Like, once again, he's the last member. If he can fight him kills, that'd be huge. I talked about earlier, there was a big snake potential, which he was trying to just avoid getting detected by any of these players. As the last member of Jokers, ELGIGANTEN, they had to smoke in. They are now in circle. There's only a few rocks and trees as protection. They have to try and get to the safety of the compound, taken over by the likes of PG18 and Airstation Mike. MJ is in the worst situation right now, as ELGIGANTEN and Brute Forces going to get involved, try and 3-man party this skirmish. And these smokes are slowly going to be ticking on down, and that's going to be maybe a fight breaking out in just the next few minutes.
See, and the good thing for Moon from Jokers is the fact that there's so many other teams and so many other players around. He can actually kind of pop shots off and not really be spotted out if he's not too far out in the open. Now, do you see Kizik? He does get knocked down by Brute Force. They turned around and they blew them up. But Arctic's one of the top fraggers so far in this phase 3. Gets a knockdown to HalloSenpai. Ojala does actually secure a knockdown on the ELGIGANTEN. We saw them out in the open. They're using smokes to their favor as much as possible, but they've been exposed. Although MOORPHEUS securing a knockdown on the frag onto Ojala. MJ-Esports down to 2 players now if I'm not mistaken. No, 3, my apologies. As we will see what they can do to try and protect this compound as the next phase drives on through. Airstation Mike are still inside the circle, as are PG-18. The only member of PG-18 that is indeed Nemrith. We have 9 teams, 20 players left standing. Brute Force always seem to be fighting against the circle in the late stages of these games. But you know what? They're doing pretty damn good. As we do see Faultlessly knocking down one member of Brute Force. This is the battle of 2 fantastic teams as Brute Force do get eliminated at the hands of BetterLuckNxTime.
Yeah, that was a huge move coming out from BetterLuckNxTime, trying to avoid that fight, and then Brute Force is trying to reverse the steam of that engagement, though. Tempest, Kleb goes for the grenade. It does roll on through. It's going to be huge. It does connect, and it takes out BetterLuckNxTime out in 8th position. 7 teams remaining, and now Tempest have an easy entry point with Zao getting scouted from the back.
It's not the easiest of entry points because you saw just before he got that fantastic Kobe on, 2 of his teammates were actually taken out by Airstation Mike. So yes, the entry point into the circle is kind of easy. It's not really easy because he goes anywhere near the open. Airstation Mike are looking in their direction.
Then you have to focus in the center, right?
7 teams. Yeah, a little bit like that. It's just you just got to be really. You still got to be really aware of where you are, how you're positioned. Got to use as many trees and rocks to your advantage, as you do see Juno looking for Marcelek. It is a bit of a 1v1 situation between MJ and ELGIGANTEN, but both members do have multiple people left standing. MJ have 3 players up, ELGIGANTEN have 2. And when you look at the side of ELGIGANTEN, they actually hold 2 better angles. So MOORPHEUS and Marcelek, they kind of have MJ-Esports pinched, but both teams are in the circle as Jokers do finally get eliminated. But you got to say, Moon did a great job to put his team up to the placement standings.
Yeah, he did a great job just getting about like 5 to 6 extra positioning points. That's what you're looking for on the side of Jokers. But once again, the angle you talked about, ELGIGANTEN, is really big to try and shut down that engagement from MJ to try and get into the better phase of the next circle. ELGIGANTEN, Marcelek going to try and push on through. Does have that grenade? He's going to try and go for the Kobe. Does it connect? I'm not too sure. Though here it is. It closes up, and it will be a little bit still on the compound. Half of the compound will be taken out of the picture. And still Tempest. Oh, Tempest will be scouted out.
Yeah.
Kleb going to be taken out, and that's going to be 6th position for Tempest. 1 extra kill point for Airstation Mike. Hugstar, he wants to pimp up those numbers to take over Perfectix.
Am I not really surprised it's Hugstar? There's a reason why he's known as one of the best fraggers, and the reason why he's very close to the top of the table so far in Phase 3 contenders. As MJ-Esports, they're fighting against the circle. ELGIGANTEN have 2 members up. One of them is in the circle. One of them is outside the circle. Marcelek, if he can join his teammate, or maybe even just flank around from the southwesterly side to maybe create a bit of a distraction, might be a bit of a sacrificial lamb. Let's see what is going to happen. A frag grenade gets thrown out by Marcelek. It's falling a little bit short, unfortunately, but counter grenades being popped out by MJ. As Juno with that SLR looking for the legs to feed the head of Marcelek. Nearly connects. Can the right peak, can the right moment come through? It takes just a split second for that perfect shot to come off.
Yeah, but you know it's going to end soon because they're both out of the circle. Rotation will have to happen. ELGIGANTEN does find MJ-Esports. Stratos O'Connell going to be taken out. Nordic attack team in 5th position. 4 teams remaining. I know it is. MJ-Esports will be also taken out of the picture in 4th position. ELGIGANTEN, despite having a 1-1 split, that positioning you talked about earlier was huge to try and deny them that rotation in the circle. Now only 3 teams remaining is going to be PG-18 with 1 member, 2 members of ELGIGANTEN, and 3 members still in the center part of the compound of Airstation Mike.
Now we do see Nemrith looking to fire a grenade over in the direction of ELGIGANTEN. MOORPHEUS kind of realized this. They're again going for a 1-on-1 split. Very clever play for ELGIGANTEN. It's a reason why they're on double-digit kills so far in this game alone. But Airstation Mike still have 3 players strong. Hugstar nearly gets a kill onto Nemrith, but gets put down to 25 health. Fake, he's going to flank forward. He's going to be a little bit aggressive. Also, you do have ToWzErA pushing a little bit forward. They want to get that kill. They want to take out that squad member. They want to just put themselves in prime position. As we do see Marcelek from ELGIGANTEN does actually take away that kill to the hands of Airstation Mike. So now it becomes a 3v2 situation. And I gotta say, these are 2 of the best teams in contender so far. So I've absolutely no doubt that ELGIGANTEN, even though they're man disadvantaged, they could still take this win.
Talking about an advantage. Oh no, there you go. Actually, Marcelek going to try and find a few shots on top of fake. Nice grenade will put him down to now 46 HP. They're going to have a try and of a flank. ToWzErA, that high ground is actually huge on his side.
Exactly.
But that 1-1 split might be enough actually to try and just apply pressure on that push. Hugstar going to try and go for another one. Grenade does not quite connect on the side, but it's still going to be very careful of ToWzErA. And that 2-1 split is actually huge on the side of Airstation Mike. They have this leap off the hill to work with. And he's just going to try and slow down just a little bit. Once again, they know that there's only 2 more enemies on the side of Airstation Mike. So they know they have to take this game in their hands, and the circle is going to be slowly rotating inwards. And there's going to be mainly a Marcelek. Here it is. The positioning of ToWzErA is going to be huge, and they do close on top of MOORPHEUS. First chicken dinner today is by the one and only Airstation Mike.
I'm gonna lie, a little bit of a happy man. Hey, look, as I said, they're kind of firmly becoming one of my favorites here in the contenders. But it's a great game. They're a little bit, of course, always a little bit lucky to have the circle always in the palm of their hands. I think it was for the majority of the game, they held on to that compound. They did lose fake early on, but they still kept going as a 3-man team. They took down No Tag Team on the edge of the circle, for example. They took down Tempest. It was a great hold down of that compound that came out from Airstation Mike, but we can't deny the work that ELGIGANTEN did, putting in 10 kills. You saw MJ-Esports actually did still a fantastic job. Even PG-18, Nemrith on his own, putting his team up, placing point of view, into 3rd place.
This was the one first big fight, huge potential trying to breach over the likes of Istanbul Wildcats. Unfortunately, a little bit of lack of synergy, I think, on their side to going 1 by 1. That's never how you want to try and breach those compounds, and they got taken out of the picture in 16th position.
Yeah.
Then Jokers, when they also tried to pick their fight versus 4Kings, they sent the cavalry a little bit late, I do think, and unfortunately, they did lose most of their members, but they still had that one member at the very end. It was Moon, got back a few positioning points, which is great for the likes of Jokers to try and redeem that first game of the day. Northern Lights, they were the team that trying to gatekeep early on the likes of Brute Forces. Unfortunately, because of that next phase rotation, the steam did get turned on, and it was unfortunately played against the likes of Northern Lights that got flushed out pretty early by Brute Force.
Well, there is reason Brute Force as a team do hold on to the 3rd highest kill feed in this Phase 3 Group B of contenders. They're just not afraid to frag out. But that was the kind of 3-squad fight between Unique, Red Foxes, and No Tag Team. You saw Red Foxes took down Team Unique, but then the tables got turned and No Tag Team took down Red Foxes. But that's okay, right? Because they got the squad wipe, that's still extra points. Even though they went down in like 12th place, it still meant that they got points on their side going into the second game as Moon. That was a great headshot to on Jazza. It's a shame that frag couldn't get secured for himself. It would have put MJ under a lot more pressure, and of course it would have given extra points over to Jokers.
That was the reason why this fight went over to BetterLuckNxTime. They backtracked that huge grenade coming out from Kleb. Here it is, connects on top of Artix and does take out BetterLuckNxTime. That backtrack was really good. And then, unfortunately, talked about it earlier, the 1-1 split angle of ELGIGANTEN is what shut down this rotation from MJ-Esports, taking them out really fast. And then that angle. ToWzErA, definitely got to give him the MVP of that last fight. That positioning alone was so good to put some pressure on that high ground.
It was that high ground. And then you had the other 2 members of Airstation Mike that were there. That it still could have gone over to ELGIGANTEN, but Airstation Mike took it in the end. Huge potential. Team MOOPHEUS and Northern Lights, 3 teams that got 0 points. But then it moves up indeed. As I said, Red Foxes, they kind of got a squad wipe, getting 3 points for their side, followed by 4Kings. Even though they didn't do the best, they still got 4 points, as did Tempest.
Yeah, they just need a few consistent performances where, even if it's just a few points, they need to try and get away from that big 0 that they got a bunch of times in a row. ELGIGANTEN, 17 points. Followed actually really close. Yeah, they got more points than Airstation Mike that got that chicken dinner. That is huge for this team that was so far in 6th position. So they're trying to climb back up just in the rankings overall. And here's the heads-to-head of ELGIGANTEN and Airstation Mike. The damage output, double the damage for ELGIGANTEN. They've been picking fight after fight in the mid-game. This is why they got so much damage.
Yeah, and in fairness, though, the conversion rate was actually very similar between the 2 teams. Part of the reason why Airstation Mike didn't have as much damage is simply because they didn't have to fight against the circle, so they didn't have to fight their way through. So they had that compound. But when you look at the conversion rate, it was very similar. But Marcelek and MOORPHEUS, top 2 kill feed going over to ELGIGANTEN. That was 9 kills out of their 11 total coming out from 2 players.
Yeah, Marcelek doing a huge performance, 841. Wow. Those are big numbers that you're looking at right now.
Big boy numbers.
Big boy numbers. Marcelek and MOORPHEUS also 694 on his side, though. MJ, Red Foxes, teams that were involved, there's a lot of fights in the mid to late game phase. Not really surprised to see them up there in terms of damage leaders. And also, unfortunately, Istanbul Wildcats, they were really struggling on that circle phase, like 3 teams gatekeeping them. I'm sure the next game, because they love that Miramar, they had great performances. I can't wait to see what they can do. Talking about Miramar, next game will be Miramar. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back in just a few short minutes.